Welcome back. February 24th marked the day Ukraine saw an attack from the Russian military. Following the events of the invasion, New York and organizations across the city have found ways to send support to Ukraine. One of those organizations is the New York Blood Center. Andrea Cefarelli, Senior Executive Director for Donor Recruitment and Marketing, joined me to discuss their partnership with Global Blood Fund and their effort to support Ukrainian refugees. Andrea, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So, the New York Blood Center is partnering with Global Blood Fund to support their efforts in the Ukraine. Can you just explain how this collaboration actually began?
Sure, we've had a long-standing collaboration with Global Blood Fund, and we're always looking for new ways to raise awareness for the need for blood. And the Global Blood Fund was working on helping refugees find homes, and we thought it was just a perfect synergy between our two organizations and a great way to partner for the month.
Now, can you tell me a little bit more about the effort that kickstarted the collaboration?
Sure. Global Blood Fund has been around for a long time, and they look for ways to help other countries that don't have all the advantages that the US does, even though it's been really hard during the pandemic to meet the needs of hospitals and patients needing blood. And so the partnership, if you give blood for this month and you express your interest, we'll do a donation on your behalf to the Global Blood Fund, which has what's called a rehoming project. And they're working on making it easier for refugees to find places to live.
Now, donating blood is a huge way to support. Can you just explain what the requirements for donating blood are?
Yeah, most people find it easier than they think, but you have to be well and healthy. And it seems like flu is going around right now and lots of pollen in the air, but you have to feel well and healthy. And then it takes about an hour. So you have to bring identification, and then you fill out a questionnaire. And then we take your vitals, your blood pressure, your iron, check out your questionnaire. Then the act of giving blood is actually only about 15 minutes long, and the last part of giving blood is enjoying juice and cookies, which is the best part.
Now, how will this effort support people in Ukraine? And I guess this can go for a lot of the efforts from like places like the New York Blood Center. How does that support people?
So it's we're helping build the software, or the Global Blood Fund is partnering with some tech wizards on building software to match up refugees with people that are willing to house them. And so our money goes to Global Blood Fund, which, as I said, has a long history of helping out countries that don't have the same advantages with providing blood and blood products to their hospitals.
Can you actually tell me a little bit more about the rehoming program?
I don't know that much because it's in the very infantile stages. We really uh, essentially put together this program in about 3 days.
Oh, wow.
And so they're creating a site where I think the refugees can either connect with family, relatives, or people that are willing to open up their homes. And so we hope to hear more as it develops. And like I said, Global Blood Fund has a long history of helping in this way, and we thought it was good to get in on the early days.
Now, can you explain the importance of these humanitarian efforts from organizations like the New York Blood Center? I did a little bit of research and I saw that you guys also did stuff way back in 2010 with Haiti, and I'm sure it goes even further than that. Can you just explain like why doing this type of work is so important?
Well, I think we believe New York Blood Center kind of stands alone as an organization that does a tremendous amount of research, and we save lives every day. But there are so many organizations that we benefit from hosting blood drives that we think it's extremely important to look for these synergies and partnerships. So if there's a portion of the country that is devastated by a hurricane and we can send blood and blood products, we do that. During the pandemic, we were the first collectors of convalescent plasma, which was one of the early treatments for COVID, and we sent it to 42 states and several countries. In March, we did the Save One, Feed One campaign where we partnered with food banks, which had the same sort of hardship during the pandemic. So we think these synergies add benefit to people who are already doing good work, but can sort of raise it up a notch.
Now, can you explain, as I mentioned, you guys have done this before. Why are these efforts so important to public health specifically? Because I don't think people often think that these could be public health issues. Can you explain how they kind of work together or go hand in hand?
Yeah, so people don't think about blood and blood products until they need them or some one of their loved ones needs them. And like I said, we rely on so many organizations to support us because blood is donated and you donate through your place of work, place of worship, your school, your college, or the New York Mets, the New York Yankees. And so we think it's really important to provide opportunities to give back to the community. We have scholarships for our high schools and colleges, and this kind of fits in with that overall do good messaging.
And can you actually tell me a little bit more about the New York Blood Center, just in general?
Sure, we've been around for almost 60 years. We provide blood and blood products to about 200 hospitals. Blood is perishable, it only lasts about 42 days. And so you need a constant supply. And the pandemic has kind of decimated the way in which we collect blood. We are returning a bit to normal, but we had 2 years with almost no youth donors and no first time donors. And we typically have 500 high school blood drives a year. So, yeah, we provide about 367,000 red cells to hospitals and patients, and about 80,000 platelets, which go to cancer patients, leukemia patients, things like that.
Now, how can viewers watching do their part to support, and how can they register?
So donate blood or present to donate, and then you just have to go to our landing page and show your interest. So it's just a less than a minute to do that, and then we'll make the donation at the end of the month. So super simple. And if you've never donated before, it's really easy.
Now, I think this is super important. Is there any restrictions with someone giving blood, especially now that we're kind of in the wake of COVID?
So you have to be well and healthy. So even symptoms, if you just have allergies or cold-like or COVID-like symptoms, you should not even present to donate. But other than that, well and healthy, and on our website at nybc.org, we have the most common reasons why you might not be able to give or temporary reasons. But most people are surprised to find out that they're eligible. And if you eat and are well hydrated, you should have a great experience. An hour later, save a life of someone you'll never meet.
Now, Andrea, thank you so much for joining me. Before you go, can you just tell everyone how can they actually stay up to date with your organization?
Yeah, so we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. So definitely visit our website. It's super easy to find a place to donate. You can search by zip code. So we hope that you're listening. And if you can't donate, if you're not eligible, you can host a blood drive. You might have an idea of gathering friends together, or you and your family go to a donor center together. So lots of ways to help.
All right, Andrea, thank you so much for joining. And once again, I think this is an amazing effort to support the people who really need it.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back with more Open BxRx Tuesday.